Hello students, welcome back to the class. Today we are going to discuss the assertion and reasoning type questions which are higher order thinking skills from the chapter life processes and the topic respiration. So let's get started with the questionnaire. Continuing from the previous topic, the question number 16 and the assertion says that aerobic animals are not truly aerobic. So, is it a correct statement? Aerobic animals are not truly aerobic, and the reason states that they produce lactic acid anaerobically. So, as you know that in muscles the lack of oxygen generates the lactic acid, leads to the cramping, and that is why it is said that they produce lactic acid anaerobically. So, this is a true statement, and aerobic animals are not truly aerobic. This proves that this particular statement is also true, and reason definitely gives an explanation to the assertion statement, and that is why for the option A will be going as the correct answer for this particular question. Let us see the next question. Assertion states that coughing and sneezing are necessary. Reason states that both are due to the inflammatory responses. Okay. So, assertion is definitely a true statement because coughing and sneezing are necessary. Sometimes when dust goes into our nostrils and something unwanted things goes into our mouth, so we cough and sneeze. Reason, both are due to the inflammatory responses. Inflammation is a completely different thing. So, this is definitely a response but not an inflammatory response. So, this is a false statement. So, the option will be option C as the correct answer, like A is a true statement but R is a false statement. Next question says, assertion is most fish when out of water die of suffocation. Fishes cannot breathe atmospheric oxygen, atmospheric air. So, whenever they are taken out of the water, they die because their gills are not adapted to breathe in air. Reason states that atmospheric air contains far less oxygen content than the dissolved oxygen in water, whereas the actual condition is different, is opposite. Atmospheric air contains 21% of oxygen, whereas this oxygen dissolved in the water is having very less amount of oxygen. So, this particular statement is a false statement, and the option is C, that is A is a true statement but R is a false statement. Question number 19. Assertion states that if there is no air in trachea, it will collapse. Now, you should know that trachea is actually a muscular tube, okay, which is surrounded by cartilaginous rings. So, if trachea is not having air, it will collapse. Why? Cartilaginous rings are supporting it. Reason states that trachea is having the cartilaginous rings. So, trachea is having the cartilaginous rings. It is definitely a true statement. Tracheal tube width is actually maintained by the flow of air. Okay. If the trachea is not having the air flowing through it, though the cartilaginous rings are present, it may collapse. Okay. So, the first statement, that is assertion, is a true statement, and reason is also true because trachea is having the cartilaginous rings surrounding it, but reason is not giving any explanation to assertion. So, option B will be the correct answer for this particular question. Next question is assertion. Inspiration occurs due to muscular relaxation, means when muscles relax. When we inhale, it is saying that muscles actually are relaxing. What do you think? The diaphragm moves down when we inhale. So, muscles are actually contracting, they are not relaxing. So, it is a false statement. They are under a particular stress, okay, to fill in the air inside the alveoli, inside the lungs. Reason says that during this inspiration, the diaphragm and external intercostal muscles contract simultaneously. Under resting conditions, the shape of diaphragm is like this, and when inhalation goes on, the intercostal muscles and the rib cage is pulled down by the diaphragm, okay, and the diaphragm actually it almost gets straightened. So, in this manner, the muscles attached with the diaphragm and the ribs are actually undergoing a kind of stress. They want to come back to the original position. Diaphragm wants to come back to the original position, and that is why this particular statement is a true statement, but the first statement, that is inspiration occurs due to the muscular relaxation, is a false statement. So, here reason is true, but assertion is false. So, the option D will be the correct answer for this particular question. Next question, assertion states that gill lamellae in aquatic animals help in exchange of gases. Reason is saying that each gill lamellae carries many blood capillaries. Okay. So, gill lamellae definitely, because they are built to exchange the gases in the aquatic animals. So, it is a true statement, and the reason states that gill lamellae carries many blood capillaries. The presence of blood capillaries only makes the exchange of gases possible in the aquatic animals, and that is why the reason is also a true statement. And now let us see whether the reason is giving an explanation to A. Yes. So, here option A is the correct answer. Last question of the series is, assertion states that aerobic respiration involves the exchange of respiratory gases twice. Here we have to understand this particular statement like, if we inhale the air, then oxygen is taken inside our body and the gases exchange takes place in the lungs at the alveoli, and it gives the oxygen to the blood. Now, blood carries this oxygen to the tissues. At the tissue, the exchange of gases again take place. Blood, which is containing oxygen, it provides this oxygen to the tissues or to the cells of the tissues. So, exchange of gases takes place here, means tissues give out carbon dioxide and they take in oxygen. So, here gases exchange takes place for the second time. For the first time it takes place at the lungs, and at the second time it takes place at the tissue level. That is why this particular statement, which states that aerobic respiration involves the exchange of respiratory gases twice, it becomes a true statement. Reason for this is given, exchange occurs from lungs to heart and then heart to lungs. Okay. In this particular statement, exchange of gases only takes place in the lungs. Heart is never involved in the exchange of gases, and that is why the reason for this particular statement is false. So, the correct answer for this particular question is A is true, but R is a false statement. So, that is all students. If you have liked the content, please subscribe the channel and share it amongst your friends and put your comments in the comment box. Thanks a lot for watching.